Hello, Chris Rock.
How's it going,
It's going
Oliver?
pretty well. So this was my first time ever seeing you in a horror role, which was crazy for me. What was it about this one that made you want to get on board?
You know what? I light up when somebody, when I get a chance to do something I haven't done
Hmm.
at this point. And not only I haven't done, I hadn't really seen done. So, there's a lot of procedurals, there's a lot of cop movies, there's a lot of comedians with guns,
Hmm.
trading places. Beverly Hills Cop and Rush Hour and Blue Streak and all.
Yeah.
But I never seen it with a horror movie.
Right. Yeah.
So I thought it would be fun. I thought it would be fun, and I also thought I could be good at it. So
Yeah. Man, you took me back. Blue Streak. It's been a minute.
yeah,
I'm
it's like
aging. And then you and Sam Jackson have like a ton of screen time together in this one, which I just wanted like, is it as fun as it kind of sounds? Like the two of you on set together.
it is fun. I mean, you gotta understand. Sam is old enough to be my dad, so I look
Hmm.
up to Sam. It's like I know we're technically peers, but I have a reverence for Sam, like he's like he's Michael Jordan or something.
Yeah.
So it took me a couple of days just to get used to Sam.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, I would bump into him at parties and stuff, but I never worked with him before.
Okay. Word.
So it took a minute for me to like loosen up and, just be able to have fun with him, honestly. But
Yeah.
once we got going, it was great. It was amazing.
Yeah. See, I wasn't sure what y'all's dynamic was because you both been in Hollywood so long. I was like, maybe they're old friends and this is just like a hang.
Nah, Sam's 20 years older than me.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? We're friendly, but
Yeah.
Sam works all the time. People like Hollywood, a guy like Sam, you never bump into because he's working
Right.
all the time.
Yeah. That's what it seems like. And so I wanted to ask if Jigsaw had you trapped, but we're not going to do gory ones because that's like I'm not good at that. But would you rather lose your voice or be forced to eat Cheerios with no milk exclusively for the rest of your life?
I'll take the Cheerios with no milk.
Damn it. See, I asked
Yeah.
Marisol one and it was like quick. She was like, this one. And I was like, damn it. I thought I was going to have y'all conflicted here.
No, no.
Well, next time. Okay. And so I'm going to end with like a serious one because that's what you're supposed to do,
Okay.
right? So this movie is super interesting in a time where we're talking about, holding police accountable. I know y'all shot this in 2019, but do you
Yeah, we did.
see it as an allegory for, what we're doing, what we're seeing right now?
I guess it is. I mean, it's a weird coincidence. I don't want to say luck because that sounds exploitive, but
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, it seems like the movie became more relevant, and
Yeah.
that's good. That's It's good and bad. It's bad that a reality like this even exists,
Yeah.
but it's good that we have a movie that hopefully people will pay attention to.
Yeah. And I was watching it and I was literally like, oh, they must have shot this last year. I was like, because it just felt so timely. So,
Yeah.
but it was great. I watched it at 3 a.m. and terrified myself. So
Oh
that
my
was a
God.
mistake. And I want to thank you for your time.
No problem.
What's up, Oliver? How you doing?
What's up, Max? I was worried you were super small at first. I was like, is he going to stay that little on my screen? Um, it's so good to meet you. I'm really excited about this movie. I watched it last night at like 3 a.m. So
Oh, nice.
it's like particularly terrifying.
Good time to
Um,
watch it.
yeah, exactly. But I thought that you and Darren brought like a lot of life into, we've seen sort of like the rookie cop, trying to impress the grizzled veteran. And I thought that you all brought a lot of like new energy to that. How did you approach sort of making it your own?
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I think what's different about the dynamic, it's sort of less about me, it's more about the energy between Zeke and William is slightly unconventional because you're used to in these movies, I think, seeing these two guys at each other the whole time and like these sort of opposites in a lot of ways. And I think what was more interesting about the Zeke William dynamic is that by the end of their kind of first day together, you can see that they found a rhythm and that
Hmm.
they actually work pretty well as a team.
Yeah.
And I think that ultimately makes the overall story and where it goes so much more interesting than if it was something a little bit more caricature-y, you know?
Yeah, you're right. That's a good point. Usually you would think that thing would sort of stretch out through the film, like your character will be dropping coffee or whatever, the whole time.
Exactly.
And then, so I know that you're a director too, and you grew up on film sets. I'm always curious, what's something on like horror sets that's actually way unscary, like that audiences would be shocked to find isn't that scary?
What about shooting sets?
Yeah, like, oh, the blood is actually made from ketchup, like
Oh,
stuff
I
like
get, I
that.
get what you mean. I get what you
Yeah.
mean. Well, I remember reading the script and having this sort of anxiety attack that I wouldn't be able to watch the movie because it was so graphic.
Hmm.
But then when you get there and you sort of see it all, um, there's a, what it reminds me of. Did you ever go to Universal Studios Hollywood, like on one of those tours? And
Uh-huh.
you gotta go on the
Absolutely.
Back to the Future ride. It reminds me of that a little bit when you go on set. It feels like really big and um, imaginative, and the traps are so cool and elaborate. But there is this kind of you get to see Oz behind the curtain a little bit, and it takes away some of the anxiety of watching the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I would feel. But I'm watching people's, like, I can't ruin the murders or whatever, but I'm watching this stuff in real time. I'm like, how do you do that? Like, how do you sit and
Yeah,
watch that
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
thing?
Cool
And then I was
distinction.
I was kind of curious. So you posted like in February 2020, like a set photo. It's really hard, obviously, waiting for a project to come out during the pandemic. But then I saw that you had gotten a dog during
I
that time.
did.
And
I
I was going to
did.
ask,
Yeah, you've done your research.
yeah, that had to have made this pandemic a lot easier, right?
Yeah, not just the pandemic. I mean, it's sort of a life changer. I'm sure anybody knows who has a dog. It's like this crazy new love in my life.
Hmm.
uh, we just had a lunch break. I went for a walk around the block, and I was literally texting for pictures of my dog because I miss him so much. Yeah, it's so nice to have that in my life. It's been a very grounding thing.
That's amazing. And that's perfect. We're ending on cute dogs, which was my plan all
Great,
along.
perfect. My favorite interview today.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Thanks so much, man. And
Good to meet you,
congrats on
man.
the movie. Hello. So good to meet you, Marisol.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, yes, yes. Really excited to talk to you because you're a super interesting person. I'm sad I only have 4 minutes. Um, but I wanted to start with, like, your character is, a corrupt cop, head of the cops, but also seems to have a compassionate side. I was wondering how you sort of approach that duality as an actor.
Um, uh, I like conflicted characters. I
Hmm.
like characters that have two sides or three or four, just like people. People aren't necessarily consistent all the time or predictable,
Yeah.
and so that's kind of fun. I also know I'm somewhat familiar with the world of law enforcement,
Hmm.
so it's kind of familiar to me of how people need to work together as a team, and you need to know what your other people are doing in order to get something done, particularly when the stakes are so damn high.
Hmm.
So with that knowledge, that's sort of how she was carved out.
Yeah, and that's I'm wondering if you're alluding to your work with like sex trafficking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I know we're talking about Spiral, but I was very curious about that project, about, how that sort of came about, like the TV series.
The TV series came about because I had Marie Claire follow me on an op that I did in Michigan
Mm.
a couple years ago. It took about a year for that to come out as well, and that just kind of took off. Like I didn't. I
Mhm.
was just an article.
Yeah.
I've been doing this for a while, and I still do it. But I was so honored that so many people were interested in it, and that Sony sort of stepped up and was like, what do you want to do with this? They kind of asked me, like, do you want to do a film? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do a, I'm like, well, let's do a TV series. Cause I've been doing TV for a long time. I know it very well. And I think that that's the best medium for people to learn about this is through a story. So that's
Yeah.
how it came about. And I can't wait.
Yeah. That was amazing. I was like, damn, she do so much. Um, and
Thanks.
then I wanted to ask, so if Jigsaw had you trapped IRL, but it's like not a gory one, we're gonna do like, if you
Yeah.
were forced, you had to choose between eating Kraft singles exclusively for the rest of your life, or you could like only listen to the Baby Shark song for the rest of your
Oh,
life.
Baby Shark song. Cause I like food. I
Okay.
can't just, I like food way too much. Yeah.
Okay. That's fair.
Fine.
I thought
Yeah.
that I thought it'd be a little tougher, but I'll take it.
Okay. Okay.
And then obviously this movie is coming at a sort of interesting time, right? When we're talking about like holding cops accountable. Do you sort of see this movie as an allegory for that conversation?
It's funny, we shot this movie 2 years ago,
Yeah.
before anything hit. And, it's obviously police brutality is a thing, you know? And being in that position, you have a certain responsibility to treat people fairly, no matter how much the instinct is to not,
Right.
right? Just being put in that position. So it's a very timely movie and it's a very timely subject. And it was, I just watched it for the first time last night, and I was blown away at how, like, you think we made it 6 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty timely, and it wasn't intended that way, but that's sort of the result. I think it's gonna, help people and make them think.
Yeah, I literally was like, they must have like rushed,
know.
like
I
shot this
know.
during COVID. Yeah.
That's wild. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, that's my time, sadly, but
Okay.
really blown away by you. Really excited I got to talk to you.